Hey everyone, so this is going to be a quick video on the X100V camera, but specifically we're going to be talking about the conversion lenses. This is the WCL and then the TCL, which is, look at this thing, it's huge. And we're going to talk about why you might want to get these lenses, or why it might be questionable if you are kind of going with a fixed lens camera like this in the first place. So just to start off, if you haven't watched my review on the X100V yet, then definitely check that out, because I talk about why this camera is so awesome, because it is awesome. But one of those reasons that it is so awesome is due to the size. So the form factor of this camera, super small with great image quality and awesome lens. That 23mm f2 lens in there. So I think to a lot of people it is a bit questionable on why you would want to then make this camera any bigger with these conversion lenses. But I think that the kind of target audience is for people who are really into photography, who might just have this as their primary camera. So you know, if you don't have a desire to acquire more gear, or maybe you're just starting to get into photography and you're like, hey, I just want one really nice camera, and you know, there's nothing that really beats this camera in terms of portability and versatility and overall image quality, in my opinion. So this is, if you're going to have one camera, this is this is the camera to have. But for those people who just kind of have that one camera and don't necessarily have the budget or even maybe the desire to buy another camera that is you know, an interchangeable lens camera, then these actually might be good options for you then. So starting off with the WCL, I think that this lens doesn't really add to the camera that much. So I think that the overall form factor of the camera stays relatively small. I had no problem in just fitting this into my rain jacket pocket or my coat pocket, and I could still kind of take it everywhere. You know, I tried to do that with the TCL, and that just got kind of weird to carry in any pocket. So this was cool to bring around, because you know, I could just detach it real quick and then have quick access to a, you know, 35mm prime, you know, full frame equivalent, and or I could just pop it on real quick and get that 28mm field of view. So in terms of overall image quality with both of these conversion lenses, you're still getting a really nice sharp image when you pop these lenses on. And you know, I would expect that, because you know, if you go with the second version of these lenses, it gets pretty expensive, and honestly a little bit questionable. I think that the price would be too high for me new to go with those version 2 lenses. But if you stay with the version 1 lenses and you get them used, then you can actually get these for a pretty good price, maybe around like $200 each. And I think that's a great deal. Yeah, so I really like the WCL because it is smaller and keeps your camera compact. Now, talking about the teleconversion lens, that's a little bit of a different story. So let me just put this thing on there for you. Trying to keep this video short, because I can't seem to keep any of my videos like under 10 minutes, and I don't know why. I always feel like I don't have a lot to talk about. But so this is the size of the X100V with the teleconversion lens on it, and I mean, honestly, I think it looks really awesome. I love the look of it, and you know, having if the way that this is like so bulbous right here with the front element, it reminds me a lot of the RF 85mm 1.2. Not to be confused, this is if you're talking about full frame equivalents, then this lens is going to be a 50mm focal length. So, you know, it's one of my favorite focal lengths for sure. And, you know, if I go to a new camera system, the first lens that I try to acquire is a nice 50mm. So I really appreciate this thing for what it is because the image quality is great. I just struggle with the practicality of it and maybe the appropriateness of it for most of the people that are going to be acquiring the X100V camera. But like I said, I think that the people who just have this as their primary camera and maybe their only camera, then these are great choices. If you don't have the budget for the version 2 lenses, which you know, the big difference between version 1 and version 2 lenses are that the version 2 lenses will automatically change your camera setting to recognize the conversion lens once you put it on the camera. But with the version 1 lenses, you have to do that manually, and you definitely don't want to forget to do that, because I did that on you know, I was doing some street shooting and I forgot to do that, and the images, they come out real crazy, a lot of distortion if you don't set the camera to recognize the lens. But as long as you're good about doing that, and I think it is really worth saving the money and just getting the version 1 lenses. Just talking about the kind of image that you can expect from these lenses, I definitely would kind of get it out of your mind that you're going to be getting a lot of subject separation from either of these. You know, if you are shooting pretty close up to your subject, then you definitely will notice, because this is still a decent sized sensor in this camera, crop sensor. But you know, you'd have to be up pretty close to your subject to get that kind of noticeable subject separation from the background. But you know, I tend to think that when you're shooting with Fuji cameras, you're not so worried about kind of maximizing how separated your subject is from the background. You know, because there's really so much more to photography than that, and that's what I like about the Fuji cameras, is it kind of encourages you to focus on so much more than just opening up the aperture of your lens, and really kind of focus on what is going on in your picture. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any comments on either of these conversion lenses or the X100V, then let me know. If you guys like this video, help me grow this channel by subscribing and leaving me a comment. And, you know, if not, hopefully I will see you in the next one. I'll talk to you later.